Welcome to the Bungle Jungle, where we can't even stand watching the sport we talk about. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Coldiron Gridiron podcast, now known as the Bungle Jungle, because the Bengals are not over 500 yet, and that could change tonight. I am your host, Zach Coldiron, joined here by my bro, Sean.
Hello.
Yeah, well, like I said, this is a big week for Cincinnati. The Bengals have the potential to go over 500 on their record tonight if they can beat the Baltimore Ravens in Baltimore. A big feat to ask, but we're going to talk about that after we do our little bet that we've been doing. Welcome to the Cold Iron Predictions. We're going to be opening with this going forward because it takes so much goddamn time.
Yeah, we yap too much.
Yeah, we need to stop fucking yapping and yap about more shit that's going on in the NFL. So before we talk about the Bengals game tonight, we're going to go with the NFC picks for this week. Giants over Carolina. I'm taking the Giants on that one. I don't know who you're taking.
I'm believe it or not, I'm going to take the Panthers at home here. I think Andy Dalton's getting the ball rolling. I'm going to go ahead and take Carolina to win this one. And I like how we're starting this off here with a little switch up on these teams, man. I'm down 5 points here on our bet, so let's hope this is in my favor.
Yeah, well, we both know that this next pick is going to be both of us picking the same team. I'm taking the Falcons over the Saints.
Absolutely. Saints ain't. The
ain'ts. All right, you got the 49ers coming off on a bye, going to Tampa.
Hey!
And Christian McCaffrey's rumored to be playing. I'm not going to lie. I'm taking San Francisco on this one.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take them as well.
All right. We got the Eagles going to Dallas, and Jalen Hurts looked really good against the Bengals last week. I think I'm going to be taking the Eagles over the Cowboys. All road teams for my NFC picks this week.
Obviously, you aren't a true Bengal fan because last week we played the Raiders.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. Sorry, time is fucked.
I'm going to go ahead and take Dallas. I like how Cooper Rush is going to step up. He's 5-1 as a starter when he steps in, when Dak's out. So this is actually going to be my upset pick of the week. I'm going to go ahead and take Dallas.
No shit. Well, shit, okay. All right, so we're going to go to the interconference matchups. There's quite a bit this week. I'm going to take the Bears over the Patriots on this one.
I'm going to go ahead and do the same.
All right.
The Bears.
All right,
Bear down.
Steelers coming off a bye, going to the Washington Commanders. Both of these teams look very explosive on offense. The Commanders' defense isn't that great, but with the addition of Marshawn Lattimore, I'm honestly thinking that's going to be a key difference maker. Give me the Washington Commanders.
Yep, give me the Redskins. Steelers aren't going to get it done. I'm sorry. Jaden Daniels is going to be my offensive rookie of the year pick. No question. It should be everyone's offensive rookie of the year selection. Yeah, give me the Redskins.
All right, so we got Minnesota going to Jacksonville. Give me Minnesota. That's not even going to be a fucking question.
Yep, poor Trevor Lawrence, man. I hope hope the Jags really build a team around him. I really disappointing how the organization's really treating him. I know they had, signed him for a crazy deal last year. But yeah, give me a Minnesota Skull.
All right, we got the Jets coming off a mini bye, going to Arizona, and you know what? The COD game has come out, and Kyler Murray still looks really good. I'm going to take the Cardinals on this one.
Jets look hot, man. They looked great last week, finally making some decent play calls. They beat a red-hot Texans team on Thursday night last week. I'm going to go ahead and take the Jets to win this one.
All right, we got the Lions going against the Houston Texans, and this one gets Zach Coldiron certified game of the week. I know that C.J. Stroud's been struggling a little bit recently, but I do think this Texans team is very solid. However, I do think that Sonic and Knuckles are just busted. It's a cheat code. Give me the Lions.
I like how we're switching it up, man. A couple games already. I'm going to go ahead and take the Texans here. Um, Defense is hot. Texans are, coming off a loss, so they're going to be pretty angry, and they're going to, really have their head in the games here. I'm going to go ahead and take the Texans at home.
All right, last interconference matchup we got the Dolphins going up against the Los Angeles Rams. Rams look good. Puka Nacua didn't do anything last week because he decided to take a punch. However, this Rams offense looks really good, and I'm not feeling the Dolphins. I'm taking the Rams at home on this one for Monday Night Football.
Yeah, it's a shame how the Dolphins season's really ended up. 2-6 already here as we head into Week 10. As they travel out to LA, it's going to be it's a long travel. So I really like the Rams offense. They're red hot. Give me LA.
All right, so we're going to do the Chargers against the Titans next. Titans, man, they're not that great of a team this year. I'm very, very disappointed with Brian Callahan and his coaching abilities. I do think the Chargers are going to come out on top on this one. I mean, you got Justin Herbert going up against fucking Mason Rudolph, bro.
Yeah. J.K. Dobbins, man, he's been doing great this year. He's probably one of my candidates for comeback player of the year. Titans just aren't it, man. They really need to tighten up, literally. Give me LA.
All right. So we got a few games left. We got 3 for our AFC games left. We got the Buffalo Bills playing the Colts. A great offense versus a great defense. This is going to be, I feel, a great game, a fantastic game. It's going to keep people on the edge of their seats. However, my upset pick of the week, the Colts are going to beat the Buffalo Bills.
Okay, another switch up here. Give me Buffalo, man. I really like Josh Allen. He's looking fantastic these last couple weeks. I like Joe Flacco, experienced veteran, knows what he's getting into with this this fantastic Buffalo's Bills team this weekend. But I'm going to go ahead and take Buffalo, man. They are red hot, man. They look fantastic.
All right. This is the last one before our big discussion, I guess, for the day. The Broncos are going to Kansas City. Bo Nix is going up against arguably the best defense in the league. I don't think it's going to happen. I think the Chiefs are going to stay undefeated. Chiefs are going to be 9-0.
Yeah, unfortunately. Give me Kansas City.
All right. And for the last game, I'm taking the Bengals.
I'm also taking the Bengals, man. I know we're probably being biased here, but when they played back on Week 5, I believe, the game went into overtime. It was super tight, man, and only if Recco could have held the ball for McPherson properly, I think that field goal would have been in, and obviously the Bengals would have walked away with a win. So, and this is a big revenge game for Joe Burrow, man. I mean, another Thursday night game against Baltimore in Baltimore. He had a season-ending injury last year, so I know Joe Burrow is motivating not only himself but the team around him. The Bengals. This is a must-win for them. I mean, I think they can only risk 1 or 2 more losses the rest of the year, before they could possibly be eliminated from the playoffs. So I like the momentum, from last week. Hopefully it shifts, into tonight's game. I'm also going to go ahead and take Cincinnati here. It's going to be a very high-scoring game again, I believe. And I just pray they pull it off here.
Yep, absolutely. One of the big things I want to talk about this week, why I think the Bengals are going to win, Joe Burrow is angry. And you don't fuck with Joe Burrow when he's angry. Because we saw what he did when he was angry against the Raiders last week with this Jermaine Burton drama. Imagine you're Joe Burrow. Put yourself in his shoes for a moment. You're going into week 9, 10-ish, I'm not sure what it was last year. You go down, you throw a great pass to Joe Mixon, and you tear a ligament in your wrist. And after the game, the entire stadium chants, "Fuck Joe Burrow." How about fuck you, Baltimore? Because Joe Burrow's about to drop another 5 fucking touchdown game tonight against your garbage-ass pass rush defense that you couldn't even make an addition to during and before the trade deadline. So this is a message to you Baltimorean cucks who decided to say, fuck Joe Burrow. Fuck you. And guess what? When Joe Burrow has his dick so far up Lamar Jackson's ass, and we're going to play you in the playoffs, best fucking believe Joe's going to fucking do it again because Joe's your fucking daddy, bitch.
I hope we, don't need our words here, but, Burrow, he seems really locked in during last week's, post interview with the media. I mean, he said he wants to strive for perfection every single day, every game. And until that happens, he said, what's there to be happy about? And I really think he's talking the same word to his teammates. So, not only is Joe Burrow, but the coaching staff around the team is, pushing, everyone to do their best. And I really hope, they can bleed that into tonight's game. I mean, last week, Joe Burrow, man, he looked fantastic on that Thursday or Sunday night game. Burrow handled it all on Sunday. The Bengals scored on their first 5 possessions and stormed out to a 21-point lead in the third quarter. So, at the end of the day, yes, it was the Raiders, but something, I feel a big, feel something big is happening tonight.
Yeah, man. And people will say, oh, it's just the Raiders. It's just the Raiders. I'm going to look up something real quick. Because I'm pretty sure they've played each other this year. Oh, yeah, they did. Sunday, October 27th. The Kansas City Chiefs played the Raiders. The Chiefs only beat them by 7. The Chiefs only beat us by 3.
Raiders beat the Ravens.
And yeah, that they fucking did. So anybody to say that they're going to count the Bengals out tonight, and I know this is something you wanted to talk about because you brought this up to me before we went to the gym today. The Bengals should not have the record that they have. And I'm going to let you take it from there.
Yeah, no. I broke down week by week. Week 1 against the Patriots, after the game, NFL officials did confirm that Mike Gesicki touchdown in the corner of the end zone in the second quarter, should have been a touchdown. And obviously we saw the Patriots score 16 at the final. Bengals scored 10. It should have been 17-16 Bengals at that point. So start off the season 1-0. We lost to the Chiefs by 1 point over a bullshit defensive pass interference call. At the time, I was like, okay, I could see it being pass interference, but I didn't see any early contact at all. I feel like, that ball was a little overthrown. Contact was made, right when the ball was in the area. And I do believe that it was clean defense. So that's a 2-0 start there. Week 3, Monday night against the Commanders. That team just looks complete, dude. Especially with the addition with Marshawn Lattimore. I really see the Commanders making a deep playoff run. I'm not sure about a Super Bowl. A rookie quarterback has never made it all the way in his first year. Could happen. Very much could. The NFC is just, a lot more stacked than the AFC this year. Week 4, that was the one against the Panthers, first one of the year. Congratulations. Woo, you beat the Panthers. Week 5, like I said previously, if Recco could have held the ball for McPherson a little bit better, and that overtime field goal, Bengals could have pulled away the win. They won back-to-back weeks against the Giants and the Browns. And then here's the third loss. Bengals should be 6-3. Bengals should be 6-3. Is it 5-3, 6-3, whatever. At the end of the day, there's been some bullshit things that's happened to the Bengals. And stuff happens. A loss is a loss at the end of the day. A win's a win at the end of the day. But, tonight is just tonight's big. Tonight is huge. And then even next week too, against Sunday night, against the Rams before we head into the bye week. So I'm really hoping the Bengals really, really need a big win streak here.
They absolutely do. And Joe said it best. We got to win 8 of the 10 games they had left at the time. And honestly, bro, you want to know what the Bengals look like at week 9 for the last 4 years? 5-4, 5-4, 5-4, 5-4, and now 4-5. And the Bengals have made the playoffs every year for those years, except for one, which was last year. So anybody who doesn't believe in the Bengals, man, I'm going to be honest with you, you're just a straight hater. We stay in your head rent free. That's it.
And I don't know if you know, but Joe Burrow is only second to Patrick Mahomes in November or later games with, a win-loss ratio. I think Mahomes has lost 2 or 3 games in his career past November. Insane stat considering he's been in the league for more than 5 years. Burrow has a little bit less experience, but it's still a very close win percentage there at the end of the day. So Joe Burrow tends to find his rhythm towards the latter months in the season. I really wish they would find that momentum early in the year and keep it going, but Bengals fans can only hope at the end of the day.
Yeah, man. I'm nervous for tonight. I think tonight's going to be the big difference maker. The absolute biggest difference maker. I think the Bengals will have a hot streak if they win tonight. And I'm praying. Fingers crossed. All right. I say we move on to the next topic, Brody. I want to talk about some of the midseason honors so far. I know we said we wanted to talk about this last week, but we got caught up in other shit. We're going to start with best moment of the year so far. And I think we can both probably choose the same one. It's that Garrett Wilson touchdown. If you asked me beforehand, I'd have been like, oh, how about that Cam Taylor-Britt interception in the Bengals game against the Chiefs? Nah. I think Garrett Wilson wins best moment of the year. I don't think anybody's topping that.
Yeah, that catch was textbook. Not even textbook. I mean, that I was speechless when I saw it. I completely lost my mind. I personally think it was a better catch than Odell. I know a lot of people are saying, "Oh, it wasn't a catch. He needs to have 2 feet or whatever. His shin." Da, 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 da. The rules are rules. At the end of the day, if you have 1 foot in and the shin is in bounds before your knee hits out of bounds, that's a catch. I really think these fans really need to stop complaining about the rules. Again, rules are rules at the end of the day, and they need to be followed. So that right there, I personally think was honestly so far catch of the decade. I know George Pickens has had some fantastic moments here and there. I think was it last year he had it was against the Browns on Sunday night. I mean, he just had some 360 one-handed grab, but man, was that catch just wow.
Yeah, it should be the new Jordan logo, you ask me.
he did look like Jordan.
He did. He really did, bro. All right. Defensive player of the year. I looked at some of the odds with who's, slated to win this award. And I agree with all of them, but there's one name that gets consistently left out that really upsets the shit out of me. You want to take a guess?
You ready?
What player?
3, 2, 1.
Trey Hendrickson. Trey Hendrickson, bro. Why is he not even in the discussion? Chris Jones, Quinnen Williams, Nick Bosa, and Matt Crosby are in the discussion, but where the fuck is Trey Hendrickson? This dude got 4 sacks in 1 game. Only one person this year has outdone him in a single game in sacks, and that person is Aiden Hutchinson, who I personally thought was going to win Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, he was on pace to break sack record from Michael Strahan's, was it 24.5 sack season?
23.5, yep.
I mean, so far this year, he's played 9 games. 11 total sacks, 11 tackle for losses. He's already, more than halfway on a career high on both of those. Yeah, I seriously don't know why he's not in the talks. But personally for me, at the end of the day, Bengals don't win rewards unless you're Jamar Chase or Joe Burrow. But I think it's earned. He should have won it last year, but I think TJ Watt's going to walk away with the Poi Award this year.
All right. So, we've come to a conclusion who's going to be our defensive player. Let's go to offensive player. I think this one is a no-brainer as well. So far, it is going to the king, Derrick Henry. This dude has had a fantastic year. He's on pace to break 2,000 yards. Absolutely unheard of for most running backs. Ever since Adrian Peterson. I personally think it's going to be him, and if it wasn't him, it's probably going to be Jay Jettas or Jamar Chase.
Yeah, I could definitely see Jay Jettas and Jamar Chase being in the talks, but this is well deserved for Derrick Henry. I think he's rushed for almost 100 yards in every game this year. Let's take a look. stats per game. 1, 2, 3. He's had 4 games. He's had more than half the games already this year, over 100 yards rushing. That's not even counting total yards with rushing and receiving. But yeah, I personally think King Henry is going to walk away with that award this year. I would like to see Jay Jettas pull it off, or Jamar Chase. But and what's funny too is I was doing a lot of research on that, and the odds back in September, Derrick Henry wasn't even in the top 10 conversation for Offensive Player of the Year. If you place that bet, and congratulations. I think it should be a lock at this point in the season.
Absolutely. So, okay, we got our Offensive Player, Defensive Player of the Year. Let's do some rookies. There's been a lot of impressive offensive players or offensive rookies this year. I could give it between 2 people. It could go between, for me, Brock Bowers or Jaden Daniels. But personally, one has impressed me a lot more, and I think it's Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels having one of the highest completion percentages from a rookie ever, taking a fucking broken franchise and making it the best team in the division. Give it to Jaden Daniels.
Yeah. I even said it earlier in the podcast. No one else has. I don't think anyone else fits in his level, on his level. It clearly needs to go to Jaden Daniels. He's won 7 of 9 Offensive Rookie of the Year of the week, or Offensive Rookie of the Week. He's won 7 of 9 weeks. That alone in itself says a lot. So, yeah, it's going to be Jaden Daniels.
Absolutely. So, Defensive Rookie of the Year. I have a, I don't know if it's a hot take, but they've had a pretty good year. An Eagles cornerback, and it's not our favorite cracker. It's not Cooper DeJean. It's Quinion Mitchell. He locked one of the best wide receivers down in the league in Jamar Chase. And I was so impressed. So then you know what happened when I was like, okay, who's this Quinion Mitchell guy? I look up his stats this year, bro. I looked up his stats this year. For a rookie, so far this year, 22 solo tackles, 6 assisted tackles. It's a total of 28 tackles. Yeah, that's not much, right? But he's deflected 6 fucking passes. That's insane.
Yeah, Quinion looks fantastic. I mean, it's insane how well the Eagles draft defensively, but to have both of those guys on the team, after losing, a lot of key players in the last 2 off seasons, is just wow. They've really, really stepped up. And how about our cracker Cooper DeJean also being, in those conversations? He's deflected 3. He hasn't had as many tackles. He's had 16 tackles. He has half a sack, but Quinion is definitely outperforming Cooper in that talk right there for sure. But I think odds right now are leaning more towards Jared Verse, linebacker for the Rams. He has 33 tackles so far on the year, 3.5 sacks, and 1 forced fumble. It looks like he is leaning more towards the favorite, and I personally think he's going to win it. But Quinion Mitchell should definitely be, in that conversation. I believe he's number 3 right now in current odds to win this award.
All right. We're pretty on the tee with our opinions on this one. So Coach of the Year, we may have some differing opinions. There's been a lot of great coaching this year from great coaches. You got Kevin O'Connell, who has brought the Vikings their best season in a long time. Arguably, you could give it to Dan Quinn, I guess. But I think that's all Jaden Daniels. But there's one coach every year, day in and day out, that fucking impresses the ever-living crap out of me. And that's Mike Tomlin. Before this season started, everyone was like, yeah, the Steelers are going to be last place in the division. Here they are, the fucking Kings. They're feasting. Mike Tomlin has not had a losing season, and I don't think he's going to let up. I don't think he's ever going to have a losing season. He's probably, arguably, the greatest coach of all time. Yeah, I just fucking said that. I just said that.
Agree.
I think
agree.
It's
and if
go
he's
to
not
him.
in your top 3 at least, then you don't know ball. You do not know ball.
What about you, man? Who are you taking?
I'm torn. I really like Dan Quinn. I mean, the Falcons fired him. I believe was it um, last year or the year before. But yeah, it is all Jane Daniels. I think for that offense. I mean, he's got Terry McLaurin, great running back room behind him with Austin Eckler and Bijan. Um, Personally, for me, another person who should be in this conversation, it's gonna be crazy. Sean Payton. I know the Broncos are kind of, what's their record right now? 5-4. They're third place right now. They're tied for second in the AFC West. Very well could squeeze in a playoff spot with a rookie quarterback, Bo Nix. Um, so I'm torn, honestly, between Sean Payton and Dan Quinn. But I think it's just, how the NFL is, man. It's going to go to Dan Quinn. At the end of the day, you're right. And it is all Jaden Daniels. He has the highest completion percentage right now in the NFL. I mean, the Commanders are scoring over almost 30 points every game. They've done that, 1, 2, 3. They've scored over 30 points 3 times this year. And that honestly is hard to do because, you only touch the ball 7, 8 times a game. And to score, you have to do that. And you have to score on almost every drive to do that. So that is, in itself is an impressive feat. They're coming off a 3-game win streak after skidding by the Baltimore Ravens in Week 6. So personally for me, I think it's going to go to Mr. Dan Quinn. The way he's bounced back, and he had success with the Falcons. 28-3. That was a little disappointing. But the way he went from the Falcons to the Commanders and is continuing to bring success to another franchise, I think it's just going to go to him.
All right. Last but not least, arguably the biggest award. And personally, Sean, you're not going to agree with this take. I promise. You're his number one hater. If Lamar Jackson had no haters, Sean is probably deceased. It's simple as that, bro. He hates Lamar. However, Lamar's had a fantastic season.
Probably he has passing-wise.
And people's like, he's a running back. He's a running back. Here he is throwing 300 yards multiple games this year. Now, granted, after this year, if he wins this MVP award, he will never win the MVP award again until he gets a ring. He will be a permanent 3-time MVP until he gets his Super Bowl ring. But personally, and Ravens fans, you can take to offense to this because fuck you guys for saying fuck Joe Burrow. There's some cool Ravens fans out there. I know some cool Ravens fans, but fuck you to the ones who said fuck Joe Burrow. Okay? I don't know if the Ravens are going to be able to get back to the AFC Championship this year. The AFC, it's stacked when it comes to the playoff picture. But we'll talk about that actually next. I wanted to talk about the playoff picture and how it's looking now. But who do you think, man?
Yeah, give me Lamar. He looks fantastic. I think runner-up would be Josh Allen, but Lamar Jackson really has proven to me this year. Maybe I should write an apology letter to him, but he's really proven to me this year that he can definitely be not only a running threat or a dual threat quarterback, but he can pass the ball. I mean, we went to that Tampa Bay game. Was it week 7? And he literally almost had a perfect passer rating. I think he was off by maybe half a point. He, I believe, threw for over 300 yards. I mean, the Ravens just, I don't wish they have, success in the playoffs, but, Lamar, just give me Lamar at the end of the day. What's funny to me, too, is people are saying Jalen Hurts is in the conversation. What are you on? Because I want whatever Fent, drug, Galaxy gas shit that you're on. Joe Burrow is simply outperforming Jalen Hurts at the end of the day. Even I even think he's outperforming Jared Goff. Yeah, I know Jared Goff had a perfect game, 18 for 18, whatever, 2 passing touchdowns. I think he's outperforming both of them. And Patrick Mahomes being third in the current odds for MVP blows my mind. He literally just had his second or third multi-touchdown passing game this season, and we're heading into week 10. What the fuck? Patrick Mahomes shouldn't even be in that conversation. Top 3 right now: Lamar, Josh, Jaden Daniels should be in the talks for MVP. And maybe, as honorable mention, Joe Burrow.
I agree. Joe Burrow not being in the discussion is very sad, but it's probably because due to his team's record. But if they make the playoffs, I definitely see him making a candidacy for MVP. All right, playoff picture, my friend. It's looking like near locks in the AFC. The Chiefs have a 99% chance of making the playoffs. So do the Bills. The Ravens have a 97% chance. The Texans have a 94% chance. By the way, that's literally the order I think going to be the playoff seeds for each division. Houston wins theirs. Buffalo wins theirs. Baltimore wins theirs. Kansas City wins theirs.
Yeah, I agree. I've already got things lined up. I made predictions for almost every game out until week 18, and yeah, you said that perfectly. Bills to win the East, Ravens, Texans, Chiefs.
Now, the wild card here is where it's going to be a little different. I can see the Broncos making it. I can see the Bengals making it. I can see the Colts making it. And I think the Chargers are probably going to make it too. They've had a pretty good year. So for the 5th spot, personally, I'm probably giving it to the Chargers. The 6th spot, I'll probably give to Pittsburgh. And then the 7th spot, it's going to be a toss-up. But I'm going to glaze my team on this one. The Bengals are getting the 7th seed.
Yeah, I agree. I would flip-flop 5 and 6. I think, I don't know, Pittsburgh has – they have a very, very tough schedule coming up. They have yet to play any divisional opponents. From weeks 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, they have to play their 6 of last 8 games against divisional opponents. They lose more than 2 or 3 of those, yeah, they could fall to the 6th, maybe even the 7th seed. But, man, they really have a tough schedule. But when you have a coach like Mike Tomlin behind you, high IQ guy, really knows how to work around any team, any quarterback. You know, he's had Mason Rudolph. He's had, Kenny Pickett. He's got Justin Fields now, Russell Wilson. No matter what quarterback he has, this dude is so successful, it's not even funny. And that's why he should be in that talk for the best coach of all time. But back to the topic. Steelers could possibly squeeze into the 5 spot, but that schedule's tough, man. They've got the Commanders, they've got the Eagles, and they've got the Chiefs. Those are the 3 games they have left, other than playing every AFC North opponent twice. I do like your Chargers pick. Harbaugh's done a fantastic job. Justin Herbert, really hope he gets his first playoff win. We saw what happened 2 years ago, that abysmal 27-0 comeback the Jags had. But yeah, give me the Bengals to squeeze into that final spot. I really think they're going to get things done. We're totally not being biased here, but I like Cincinnati at the end of the day there. So personally, for me, I had the Bengals actually in the 6th spot, Chargers in the 7. So it would be Kansas City. I actually had the Bills at the number 1 seed. What are your thoughts on that?
That could happen, man. I really think it could happen. The Bills look really good, but I don't see the Chiefs falling off. That's my thing. Do I think they're going to be the second undefeated team to ever do this shit? Absolutely not. But I just don't see the Chiefs losing many games. But I don't think it's a hot take either, if that makes sense.
But for me, the AFC-wise, I'd probably put Kansas City over LA, probably the Texans over the Bengals, and I'd probably have the Steelers upsetting the Ravens. Sorry, Lamar. AFC matchups, what are we thinking? You know, top two teams. Are we thinking maybe a Josh Allen, Pat Mahomes rematch?
Good question.
Would that be the 3rd time meeting in the playoffs? That would be. I would love to see that. And I honestly think Josh Allen could come out on top this time, especially if they are the number 1 seed. You know, lock in that conference championship game at home. I really like Buffalo this year. Yeah. I think they're my favorite to win the AFC.
Yeah. So the way I've got it set up, I got the Bills at the 2nd seed and the Bengals at the 7th. I personally think it's going to happen again, the Josh Allen playoff curse. I think the Bengals can win that game.
I think they could too. I like
the 3rd seed, which would be Baltimore, would probably play either Pittsburgh or LA, kind of just depending on who has the better season. Personally, I think it'll probably be the Chargers. Oh, I think Baltimore will take that one. Then for the 4th and 5th, it would be Houston and the Steelers. I'd see the Houston getting there. So then, therefore, it would be Chiefs Bengals in the divisional game. And no offense, I think the Chiefs are winning that one, man. Ugh.
All right, Tony Romo.
I don't know, man.
It's like a game of cat and mouse, Jim.
And then I think that it would probably go down to what? What did I say? Ravens and then Chargers? No, I said Ravens. Ravens, Texans.
Little rematch there.
Oh man. I think the Ravens will take it. I think it'll be Chiefs Ravens, and I think again it'll be the Chiefs who go to the Super Bowl.
Fucking Kansas City. Can this just stop? Can it just stop? Will it ever stop?
Oh my goodness.
I don't think it will, man. We're cooked.
We are
AFC's cooked when Pat Mahomes is there.
All right, NFC playoff picture looks a little bit more. I guess you could say a little more optimistic, but
the NFC this year looks a lot more powerful than the AFC, in my opinion. But
here are my teams. Hot take: San Francisco doesn't even get in the playoffs this year.
Wow, what? They don't eat. Who's winning the West? Arizona, LA?
Zoni. I think Arizona's going to win the division, bro.
Okay, Mr. Kyler Murray. Okay, I kind of like that. I mean, I personally think for me, I like this that take of San Francisco not making the playoffs. They do not look like the team they have been the last 2 years with Brock Purdy. Man, really, Rams over Cardinals, man. That's a crazy. I don't know. When Kyler's healthy, he does make the playoffs, but he's not successful in that situation. He's the AFC or the NFC's Lamar Jackson.
All right. I'm not going to go through like each matchup that I have in mind, but I think the NFC Championship game will probably look like Detroit.
Yes.
And maybe the Falcons, bro.
I like that pick. I don't know. Kirko can't get it done in the playoffs. He has. I don't even. Can we confirm? Does he have 1 or 0 playoff wins?
I think it's 1. One. He has 1 playoff win in his career.
You're gonna like this. So, here's my NFC Championship. I like the Lions. I think they're gonna go back and they're gonna win it. So I think it's either gonna be Bills Lions Super Bowl or Chiefs Lions Super Bowl, and the Washington Redskins making the NFC Championship. Rookie Jaden Daniels makes it all the way to the Final Four.
What?
In his first.
Oh, shit. That'd be crazy, bro. I think it's possible, though.
Oh, very much so. And honestly, hopefully this is public information, whatever. Who cares about me? I'm unemployed at the time at this current time. But once I get a new job and we're transitioning into the off season, I'm going all in on Washington winning the Super Bowl next year, Super Bowl 60. Give me Washington to win that all.
Hell no. Give me the Bengals.
You don't think so?
I'm being biased.
Chiefs, Commanders?
Just ignore me, bro. I'm being biased again.
Man, I really like the Commanders. Jaden Daniel, he has a good head on his shoulders. The team already seems to like him. I think the Bears should have selected him first overall. He's been struggling a lot this year. I don't even think the Bears make the playoffs this year. Possibly next year, yeah, absolutely could happen. But man, I love the Lions and Commanders this year. I was really hoping that they would play, in the regular season just to kind of tease us a little bit. But they're locked in at the number 2 seed right now, so they've really impressed me this year.
They really have. So yeah, it looks like we got maybe like Chiefs Lions or maybe even Commanders Lions, or not Commanders Lions, Commanders Chiefs. If it's Chiefs Lions, bro, I don't think Mahomes three-peats.
I don't know. I've never bet against Mahomes. I've always bet for him. Even last year's Super Bowl, I won a couple $100, man. And I think the 49ers were favorites to win that. So I don't know. I'm kind of skeptical about betting against Mr. Mahomes there.
Well, good play by Mahomes, throwing it in the dirt. Because that's exactly what he's going to do against the Lions. Great
IQ
defense,
play.
great
IQ play.
offense. And Sonic and Knuckles, they're going to not be popping the rings out when they die. They're going to be taking the fucking rings, baby. Go Lions!
So that's your Super Bowl pick
Yes, sir.
for this year?
Lions.
God, I'm really torn. Yeah, I think I'm going to take Detroit, man. I think they're going to get their first ever championship, unfortunately, before the Bengals. I'm also going to pick the Lions, man. They're red hot. Dan Campbell, what a dude. What a guy.
Love that guy. Really love that guy. He's awesome. Oh, all right, well, that's our picks for this year. You have anything else that you want to bring up? I think I've touched on everything that I want to touch on today.
What are your thoughts on Khalil Herbert coming to Cincinnati after losing Zach Moss for the year?
All right. I've had a couple days to let it simmer. I'm not going to lie. At first, big fucking hater. Big hater. Then the news about the Zach Moss injury came out. Neck injury, potentially out of the season, got placed on the IR. I looked into Khalil Herbert a little bit. This dude's yards per carry is rather impressive. Rather fucking impressive. And then we get him for a 7th round draft pick? You want to know what round he was drafted in, Sean?
Is he a second rounder?
No, he's a 7th rounder. I'm pretty sure he was drafted in the 7th round. Let me verify this information. Hold, please.
He was 6th round.
Okay, still, you get him for a 1 later round pick. The return on investment on this is really good. And let's be honest, he's not going to be probably splitting carries with Chase Brown. But I think it's a solid pickup. I give it a B+.
I really do like the way he had performed his second year in the league. Looking at, I'm a big stats guy. I think stats are very important. Obviously, I think it should be important for everyone who's interested in football conversations. But not only does he look great on the rushing side of things, receiving as well. I mean, if he gets his hands on the ball, this dude can run. He's elusive. He's quick. Yeah, I was watching some of his highlights, and I personally think he's going to be a great fit for this team. I believe the Bengals signed Zach Moss to a 1-year deal. I think we're going to move on from him and keep Khalil Herbert and Chase Brown long term. This dude's very young. He's 20. I think he's younger than me. He's a little older. He's older than me by a month, but we're the same age. He's very young. He's got a lot of life left, a lot of football career left. I think he's going to be fantastic, and I really hope they put him to use this game tonight because we know how Zach Taylor is, especially with the Jermaine Burton situation. Yes, I know he's a no call, no show, whatever. He's Jermaine Burton saying, "Oh yeah, I feel like they could be producing me better," but at the end of the day, bro, quit the no call, no show bullshit. Grow the fuck up. But what I was trying to say is Zach Taylor is that guy. He doesn't like to play rookies. He doesn't like to start guys that are new to the team. Because I think what's behind Zach Taylor's mind is he wants these players to study and watch before he puts them into play. But I truly hope that Zach Taylor really puts him to work tonight.
I do, and I think we'll see that. I think Jermaine will finally get some looks. Now, Joe's pissed at him, understandably so. I'd be pissed if someone missed practice, and then you develop a scheme around him for a whole game, and then you don't even fucking use him. It's upsetting. But I think we're going to see some Jermaine Burton tonight.
Yeah, and I think we're going to be without Charlie Jones. I think Orlando Brown is going to end up playing. I hope B.J. Hill steps in, but Chris Jenkins doesn't look too bad. Big game tonight. I will definitely be having some alcohol close to me. Yeah.
As you should. All right. Well, I think that's going to be a wrap for this episode of the Bungle Jungle, a.k.a. the Coldiron Gridiron podcast. Want to thank everybody for tuning in this evening. Sean, do you have any closing words or statements for our audience?
Who dey?
Who dey?
Who they think?
Well, the Commanders, the Ravens, everybody in the NFL.
Fucking shut the fuck up. We're winning tonight. Come on. Who dey?
Who dey? Who dey? Who they think gonna
Who
beat
they
them
think?
Bengals? Who they? Who they? Who they think gonna beat them Bengals? Nobody.